am sailing, I am sailing home again, across the sea. I am sailing stormy waters to be near you, to be free. I am flying, I am flying like a bird across the sky. I am flying, passing high clouds to be near you, to be free. Can you hear me? Can you hear me through the dark night, far away? I am dying, forever crying to be with you. Who can say? Can you hear me? Can you hear me through the dark night, far away? I am dying, forever crying to be with you. Who can say? We are sailing home again, across the sea. We are sailing salty waters to be near you, to be free. Oh Lord, to be near you, to be free. Oh my Lord, to be near you, to be free. Oh my Lord, to be near you, to be free. Oh Lord.
Seagulls soar above her surf, the sun reflects and gleams, while people come from miles around to stroll upon her beach. Her touch conveys an icy chill through her stinging, foaming spray, while her thunderous waves rush to the shore, then gently roll away. Her blue horizon meets the sky, this end cannot be seen, while her salty fragrance fills the air and floats upon the breeze. She safely cradles in her arms the boats that bounce upon her tides, and plays coy with all the surfers who beckon for another ride. She can distract us from our worries. She can lure and hypnotise with the rhythm of her movement and her beauty in our eyes. She's a force that can't be reckoned with, a power to revere. She's a lovely sweet seductress who we long to settle near. There are no words that truly tell the splendour of her face or recreate that feeling of such a warm and peaceful place. The ocean is a lovely gift. She is a great masterpiece, a miracle we can behold that gives us reason to believe. This morning we meet as a group of people who have known and who have loved Roxley Pud Jackson. We are here today to mourn his death, but also to honour his life. A funeral service is an opportunity to join together in the taking of our leave of somebody who that we have loved and we have respected. But a service like this is more than that. It's the celebration of his life, of his personality, a time to comfort Pud's family and his friends who are grieving his passing. And so on behalf of Heather and Pud's extended family, I welcome you here this morning as you have joined with them to honour Pud's life. For those of you who are watching this service via live stream, or perhaps watching at a later time, I welcome you also. Your presence here today is just as valued, whether you are here in person or in spirit. If I could ask that you now take a moment to turn your mobile phone off or onto silent if you haven't already done so, of your mark of respect for Pud. I ask today that we be honest with death. Let's not pretend that it's less than it is, because it is separation, it is sadness, and it's grief. But let us neither pretend that death is more than it is not annihilation. As long as memories endure, Pud's influence will live on. Death is not an end to love. Our need to love from each of us is boundless. It is not the end to happiness and laughter, for nothing would less honour a person such as Pud than to make our lives drab in respect of him. So today let us be honest with death, for in that honesty we will understand Pud better and understand ourselves more deeply. It was one of Pud's own wishes that today's service be to the point, and so in keeping with his wishes, let us begin to tell the story of his life. And to do this, I would like to invite Brother Tony to come forward now and share his eulogy with us.
Welcome everybody. For those of you who don't know who I am, ask the person sitting next to you. I didn't realise this was getting beamed all around the world, otherwise I might have written a bit better stories than I've already got written down here, just to jog the memory. I won't be raving on about where Pud went to school and what he done and where he lived. All I want to do is share a few stories of the fishing expeditions and the trips that he done and that he so much enjoyed. I just want to reflect on Roxley's, better known as Pud's life. I just want to share the stories about his fishing days. He loved the sea and everything that went with it. He was a professional seaman and a sought-after abalone diver's assistant. On one occasion we were working off seal rocks near King Island, and the sea was really calm and all the small seals were getting round in the water and they were drowning. The sea wasn't rough enough to wash them back up on the rocks. So Pud went round the dinghy, picking these little seals up to take them back on the island. And heaven and behold, he got bitten by one on the arm there. And he's the only fisherman I know that's been bitten by a seal. He was also responsible for saving a fellow fisherman's life who fell overboard on a boat I co-owned called the Walrus. His quick thinking to throw a life buoy in the middle of Bank Strait at night was the true professional nature of his character on the water was our Pud. Another episode, a trip fishing to Jack Smith's with the boys, down, get there just on dark. Pud wants to set a cray pot. Him and another friend of his, Big Back Barney, Selwyn his real name, Selwyn Barnard, decide to go and set a cray pot. Skinny's dinghy had more cracks in it than an egg dropped from 6 foot high. They rowed out the channel while we all stood on the bank, him and Barney. Barney stood up to throw the pot and the dinghy capsized. In they both went. Pud scrambled up onto the dinghy, which is now upside down. Barney, swimming with the rope and half walking, only shallow conditions, towed the boat back to shore. All laughed and smiled. The next morning, Pud and Barney row off to collect the pot. 6 crays. I told you, bruv. We put it in the right spot. I said, good, that's good. And we all had crayfish for supper. And another time, when the mother boat used to leave the wharf, everybody would want to be sleep at the forecastle or aft or midships, wherever Pud was bunked up. And the reason being, he had the best mosquito repellent you could buy, so everybody wanted to be part of that. Now, I could rave on here for hours about fishing and stories and all, but he wouldn't want me doing that. He knows, we all know what he done in the family and everybody here, what he done and what he was and the person he was. We'll miss you, mate. Goodbye. Thank you.
As you'll all know, Pud's health has been in decline over the past few months, and his time amongst us came to an end last Wednesday, April 27. It was a lot quicker than you expected, and none of you were ready to say those final goodbyes. He was surrounded by the love and the support of his family. Pud, may you forever rest in peace.
Mirrors on the sky, burning in your eyes. You look at me, babe, I wanna catch on fire. It's buried in my soul, like California gold. You found the light in me that I couldn't find. So when I'm all choked up but I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Lovers in the night, poets trying to write. We don't know how to rhyme, but damn, we try. But I really know we'll never die. So when I'm all choked up and I can't find the words, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. Oh yeah, I don't wanna be just a memory, baby. Ooh, ooh, when I'm all choked up and I can't find the word, every time we say goodbye, baby, it hurts. When the sun goes down and the band won't play, I'll always remember us this way. When you look at me and the whole world fades, I'll always remember us this way.
And so today we have remembered Pud. We have honoured him in our words, in the choices of the music that we've played and the photos that we have seen. And we now prepare to let him go from our care. This does not mean that we forget who he was. You will remember him when you see a boat tied to a wharf, when you see Richmond running onto the football field, when you smell a boiler of fresh relish bubbling on the stovetop, when you see an abalone clung to a rock, or when you hear an axe splitting wood. You will remember Pud for all of the things that made him the man that he was to you, your husband, your step-mother-in-law. For being Pud, for being the best friend and husband to Heather, and for welcoming Daniel and James and Harvey into his family. For Pud's love of the ocean, boating and fishing, and for sharing and passing that love along to his family. For sharing jars of his bottled gold relish that was just slightly better than Heather's. For his love of a good joke and a laugh, for embracing Facebook, even though there was a bit of a grumble. For opening his heart and his home to the third members of his family, especially Buddha and Betty, for being their second chance at a happy and loving home and life. For his support of the Scotchtown Football Club, and I know that that support goes both ways, and thank you also to the club for their support of both Pud and Heather. For ensuring that there was a good supply of wood. In fact, Heather told me she probably won't have to worry about wood for at least the next 3 winters. For all of the things, Pud, that made you, you, we thank you, the special, unique person that we have loved and that we'll continue to love. And so, with the thoughts of thanks fresh in our minds, I would now like to invite you to come forward and to take a flower, and when you're ready to place it onto Pud's coffin, maybe as a last, final act of thank you to this man who has spent so much of his life giving to others. loving him, maybe even sometimes putting up with him. Thank you especially for your support of both Pud and Heather over these last few months, and especially these last weeks. We reach that part of our service that we call the Committal, and we begin to recognise that we have done all that we can for Pud, and that we release him to live in our memories. So these then are the last rites in the natural life of Roxley David Jackson. Tenderly and reverently we commit his body to be taken from this place and to be cremated, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, memory to memory, story to story, and love to love. With all of our love, Pud, we say goodbye. And to close, I found these short words. And it says, "Along the shore I spy a ship as she sets out to sea. She spreads her sails and sniffs the breeze and slips away from me. I watch her fading image shrink as she moves on, until at last she's but a speck. Then someone says, she's gone. Gone where? Gone only from our sight and from our farewell cries. That ship will somewhere reappear to other eager eyes. Beyond the dim horizon's rim resound the welcome drums, and while we're crying, there she goes, there shouting, here she comes. We're built to cruise but for a while upon this trackless sea, until one day we sail away into infinity." Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand?